roll a d5. I got a 2. Alex, what happened last time?
I, I knew it was fate. I feel like I do this more than anyone. I even like watched the YouTube upload from last week just to remind myself of stuff. Um, okay, so last time, we formed uh this current version of the crew. Uh, my character Chapman, along with Zeke Zeppelin, joined Captain Bellamy's crew in his ship. Um, and we were at the system of Flammarion at Startown Liberty, trying to, figure out what our next job was going to be. And we have a load of beer, very low quality beer, that we're going to be trying to sell. Unfortunately, we were not able to fully fill out our cargo hold as much as we would like to. I think we did a lot of stuff on and Startown Liberty. We split up the party 3 ways. I know I went with Marcello to the scout services, and they just told us they pay by the planet for if we are able to verify the UPP. But that's mostly for systems that are kind of far away. And we said, yeah, if it's convenient, if we're in that neck of the woods, we might collect that kind of thing. But where we're going, they probably aren't looking for that data. I remember that Books and Shipley went back to the Starhaven Tavern, and they talked with some NPC about. I mostly got. I was a little tuned out of that a little bit. They were learning about like some faction stuff and kind of getting the lay of the land about things. And then our captain was going and actually like trying to get us some real cargo and maybe find a patron, and that didn't go much of anywhere as much as we would have liked. We did go to a dive bar and were mistaken for a criminal contact. And were offered the opportunity to do some crimes, which we have momentarily turned down. Ultimately, we set sail towards Asteltine, non-aligned system that was very independent. I think we were mostly on a space station, when we arrived. And we did have a couple of I can't think of the word, passengers, I believe, that we brought along. And I think that we've talked to them about maybe continuing to join us for the next leg of their journey. We were asking around at Asteltine about trying to figure out who we could sell this beer to, and we got a lead to maybe sell it to the local union. And I want to say that's kind of the main highlights of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you picked up the beer because Bellamy had negotiated basically a purchase. He sort of went to like a corporate office, and then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna like enter this long-term contract," and he's like, "No, I just want to buy something," and they have like old beer that was good for one more jump, so it's got to be sold. Oh no, it's covering the mouse, the dice thing. I remember that. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, and I was going to bring up the star chart here. Here is... Whoops. Let me actually just get rid of these so they don't come up again. Here is the star map. And currently, I have you all kind of making your way to the end of the Bowman Arm and back. Kind of circling around, coming back and finding trade, but primarily you're trying to make a buck on the way to your contact, who claims that if you make it back to Squalia, he has work, which Bellamy and company got at good bodily risk to themselves the last time they were there. Alright, so here you are. And yes, this place is a high port. So it is a starport, a space station. Let's see. And you're currently, you had a tip from the Empty Kriller Tavern that maybe the local unions might be looking for cheap beer. That was a chance to actually sell a mass of beer, of cheap beer.
Yes, so we need to find out where they are.
Oh dear, why is this not working?
Are these unions labor unions, or are they like the union of taverns?
No, yeah, like a labor union for spaceport dock workers and
Cool.
rampers and people that manage the cargo and stuff like that. There we go. For some reason it worked that time. Trying to get some spaceport picture up there. All right, so I have the I have that you all, let's see, who did you speak to last?
We spoke to a bartender.
At the Empty Kriller. And, oh yeah, he was, he did all these fancy tricks and things, you know, and was like this, he only served like really nice drinks. So you went to a bar to try to find a place to sell beer. And, it, turned out to be, a pretty nice, at least the bartender was kind of cool. So he suggested that you go to the dock workers union, which is back at the starport.
Okay. Well, unless there's any objection, I say we all head back there. Sounds like the kind of place that it's nice to have friends with you.
Aye,
Yeah,
Captain.
let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. Okay, you go back to the starport, and if you ask around, you can find that they sort of give you a strange look whenever you suggest that you're looking for the dock workers union. But they point you to an office, and it suggests that the office is closed today. It seems that they all it looks like some kind of event is going on with the union leadership, and they are at I don't know what this would be called in a in the future, but a entertainment complex, basically, on the spaceport. So if you head to the entertainment complex, it is full of gambling and drinking and games.
Sounds like the kind of place that also might be a customer for a large amount of beer.
Maybe, and maybe cheap beer. Let's see here, Casino Town. This is just a facility. It's nothing like what Flammarion was like. Can't use that either. Anyways, and it looks like the facility is reserved, and there are guards out front.
Who's got the best social here?
Not I.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, let me have a look here.
Because New York Auto is part of one of the largest
Looks like
themselves, however.
All right,
Mine's
so
8, so not
yeah,
great.
Shipley and Marcello, you both have the same. Shipley and Marcello, how about have a walk over there and chat with those guards for a second, see what they have to say. Just let them know, we're just travelers looking for a customer. Heard that the Union might be the place to be. Customer for beer.
Sure, Captain.
Yeah, just be upfront with them, but make it look natural. Make it look good. I'm not good at that kind of thing. I'm too upfront.
I give you a sideways look. But yeah, all right, Shipley, game.
Yep, let's do it. Absolutely.
Do it.
Okay. You approach these two big
We will.
muscles. They're just muscles packed into a couple of suits. They don't look like they work for this facility. They look like they probably work for who's renting out the facility.
They look like they work for who?
The people renting out the
Did you say?
facility.
Oh, I see. What are they wearing? Do they have any livery or insignia or anything?
Not exactly, but they wear basically suits. Bless you. Yeah, suits.
Thanks.
These suits, they don't have ties, but they have something like a form-fitting jacket and pants, and it's all a dark color. They're all wearing dark colors, and yeah, they have the telltale sign of a kind of nearly translucent pale skin of a belter, of an indie person, someone who makes their way out in space or lives out on stations instead of on a world somewhere.
Marcello gives Shipley sort of like a knowing look, sort of saying, "Yeah, these guys look like thugs, or maybe a little underworld kind of action here." Do they look like they're armed? I mean, they're wearing form-fitting suits.
Right. Yeah. You kind of look them up and down. Maybe even as you approach, you're just able to make a quick scan. You can, Marcello, be able to look at them and tell that they don't have guns on them. I think that this is a place where it's okay to have guns. But you don't see the kind of a bulge anywhere that would indicate like a larger firearm. If they have one, it's something small.
All right.
I think it's everything except laser
right.
weapons here.
Yeah.
Well, Shipley, if you don't mind, let's sidle up to the. Well, not sidle up. Let's just stand near these guys. Marcello takes out a packet of smokes and lights up a cigarette. Enjoys the scenery. Looks over at the big guys over there and offers them a smoke. Are they taking?
Yeah, you hear them muttering like they're about to approach you to stop loitering around here, but when you offer them a cigarette, one of them's like, don't mind if I do. We got stuck out here.
Nice.
Check people coming in, so yeah, I'll take a cigarette.
Looks like a fancy event.
This a fancy event, and inside you can see people are drunk and rowdy. The place is trashed. It's kind of gross inside. It's perfect that Shipley said that though, and he says, "Yeah, Vice Chairman, I guess, is stepping down, so the chairman having a little mandatory fun for some of us."
It's gotta be mandatory?
Yeah,
Was he that much disliked?
I didn't want to be here unpaid on a day off, but I didn't have a choice.
Oh, if he's not even paying you.
It's It's unpaid.
Oh yeah, we don't get paid for this.
Sounds like the worst kind of office party.
Yeah.
It's good for
Isn't the
us.
vice
because
chairman?
They'll get what they pay
Go ahead.
for, so we can just sneak right in.
Yeah, yeah, the vice chair of the union. I guess he's stepping down. Maybe they're having a going away party or something. If you ask me, I never heard from him. So, it's not like I ever got anything from him. It's not like they asked me when I got the job if I wanted to pay union dues or anything. The other man elbows him, tells him, to kind of stop talking about that stuff.
Yeah. I get it. Higher ups are kind of like that sometimes. It's not a great look. Do you mind if we go in and use the men's room, ladies' room?
He hesitates for a second since you handed him a cigarette, and have you've built this rapport with him, and he thinks, he's like, look, he looks at you, sees your cyberware. A couple travelers come in this place, start walking around. I don't know. Some of the dock work, some of my co-workers are not that fond of travelers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we're not here to cause any trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Are
can
we,
see that.
Shipley? And I take a long drag of my cigarette.
Yeah, he looks at you. He thinks, let me roll this. What's your social? Actually,
What is my social?
Actually,
That's
roll.
8.
Why don't you roll under your social? Let's do that.
Sure. I don't know what my social is. Let me roll.
It's 8.
8.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no! he
Yeah.
he shakes his head for a moment. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna do me and you a favor. My job is to not let you in there, and for your own good, I don't recommend you go in there. Now, you can see this kind of the way this is set up. You have like a main floor, which could be for an performance or dancing or something like that. None of that's going on right now. People are just kind of mingling. They're kind of loud. A lot of them are lit. And then you have kind of two dark sides, like where you could have filmings, sidebars, more than one bar going on. And then you've got like entertainment in the back with gambling and cards and games and stuff. And then you can even see, though, that there's a section further back where there's like a meeting room, So this whole thing has, like a lot of these entertainment type things where you have like a reserve space too. I know they've taken over the place, but there is a private space in the back.
VIP room.
Yeah, so that probably there's other ways in. They don't have this whole place guarded, especially if you took a more unconventional way to get in, or a more surreptitious one.
All right. I'm
Okay,
hearing what
so-
this guy's saying. Shipley?
I guess we'll thank him for his advice and tell him to have a good night and share our condolences for his unpaid labor. Especially,
Yeah.
considering he's not even getting to drink tonight.
Yeah. Well, you be safe out there. And then the other thing
too.
of note, of course, is Marcello is also a hacker. So there will be places where you might be able to interface to find more information. But it seems like the front door approach, at least on congenial terms doesn't seem to be working out.
Ripley, do you feel like maybe we go quickly sort of walk around the perimeter and survey the place a bit?
Yeah, it's a nice
If
night. Might as
we
well
can
stretch our legs a
find-
bit.
Yeah, if we can find a utility or some kind of a utility port or something like that, I might be able to like hack into security system here.
Is this
Team one,
finally our heist adventure? Is
team-
this trying to
team-
get in so we can talk
Team
to these
one,
potential clients?
Team one, report in.
We're just really committed to selling this beer, Captain.
Give me a status report immediately.
No crimes
Oh,
have been committed
Captain.
yet.
Captain, we tried to get into this this fun fair or whatever it is. Basically, it's like a big bar where the Union Vice Chancellor or something is throwing a going away party. We tried to like walk in the front door, but the bouncers wouldn't let us in. So I don't know. We're trying to find a way in. Maybe
Wait.
there's a
Now hold on.
yeah.
We're here.
Captain.
We're here to sell beer. We're here to sell beer. We're not here to commit grand larceny. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
did you mention the
yeah.
beer selling part? I saw you having a nice conversation over there.
Forgot about that.
You know, I knew I had the right people in mind when I picked you.
I think you'll run into
Yeah.
a similar problem that basically they put these big suits out front to just kind of stand as meat shields, and
Look, if you want to satisfy your curiosity, do it real safely, and you know, don't make anybody angry. But you know, it might be, as far as getting the actual business done, we might just have to wait until their party's over and their office is open again.
It might be the case.
Well, the good
yeah.
news is after
Right.
this party, they may have a shortage of beer, so the demand may go up.
That's an excellent
Could
point.
be.
An excellent point. Then again, if they all have bad hangovers tomorrow, they might not want this swill. But you know what? This is a facility. I mean, by all means, if you want to take a hack at their computer, you know, I don't want to get arrested before we sell this stuff, but maybe I'll have a look. Is there an administrative office, like you know, is there a management facility for this whole facility? Like they've got part of it rented out, or is it they have the whole thing rented out?
it's just this facility that they have rented out, and this facility is now it's adjoined with other businesses. You can tell.
Are they a similar kind of thing, or they have like? Let me look at it. Let me look at what I'm dealing with here. Is this the kind of thing where it's like a clubhouse that you might find at a property development where you have
compare
to
it
bring
to
your
like
own beer? Or
It's like a Dave and Buster's, somebody, or like a, you know, something like that, where they've gone in, they've taken it over.
okay,
It's
so
an entertainment,
that might
complex.
mean that the beer is part of the price that they pay to rent this place, as opposed to them being the one bringing their own beer in. If that's the case, we would be wanting to sell it to the people who run this facility and rent it out, not to the people who rent out the facility. So in any case, I'm going to have a look for that kind of office somewhere around.
Okay, yeah, maybe you try to find if there's a separate administrative office for this entertainment complex.
Yeah, I got a pocket computer. If I don't see anything immediately available, I'll see if there's some sort of remote rental method. You know, how does one go about getting a facility here? What do you get for your money, etc.
Yeah, you can see that the sign is like something really painfully generic, like the fun zone, and then there's like a letter like missing, you know, with the lighting, and it's got this really kind of cartoonish, bombastic kind of sign over top of it and everything. And okay, so
This place has a market for neon.
all right, so All right, you're gonna go look for an admin office, try to talk to a boss. Shipley and Marcello are gonna try to
Who
kind
wants
of
to go?
look
Who wants to go
around.
with me? Who
Oh
wants to
yeah,
go with
yeah.
me? Who wants to go join Shipley and Marcello on their little adventure?
I'll go with you.
All right.
I want to join the heist, the hacking,
Okay. All right.
the
And
infiltration.
enjoy. Now everyone has their weapons on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is the law level here? I mean,
Uh,
what? I guess better
yeah.
question. When I look around me, what does the security presence look like? Cameras? Are there people, guards walking around? If so, are they armed, or do they look like mall security, or what?
This part of town, as it were, of the Star Town, is it does not look. The indication of security is when you hear an emergency alert or a siren off in the distance because there's yet another stabbing going on. That's this part of town.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep your wits about you and enjoy.
All right. So, you guys start looking around for this administrative office, and everyone else is going to look literally around the physical facility. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perimeter.
Let's see here.
I send a final voice message. Try to remember. We need to make money.
Yeah. When is that next mortgage payment due, Captain?
In about 3 weeks' time.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you start looking around the facility, and immediately you spot kind of. I'll say there are kind of three things of interest. Hopefully, the third one is not of interest, but you can see how you could literally just access the facility physically. There are places you can get on the roof of it and do strange things like that no one, would expect anyone to try to do to this entertainment complex right now. But there's also a I don't know what this. I'm trying to think what this is called in real life, but a power, a place where not an individual meter, but where a whole area is the power is controlled and also metered and read. So
The substation?
a substation. There's a substation, and this area is tech level A. So a lot of this is computerized. So that's something. The other thing that you notice, unfortunately, is there is a docking area, a kind of parallel, like a row, a docking area for trash, and in fact, there is a bunch of trash out here in the back. There's the refuse that's dumped out here, and this is also a place where the employees come and go. And there's about 3 or 4 doors, and you can see the door for the fun zone, and then there's a door for a restaurant that adjoins it nearby, and there is a like another restaurant further down from that. But just as you're like kind of looking around back here, you see you see 2 people run out of like the fun zone back door, the employee part, and they're armed, and they see you, and they're like, I don't know what you're doing back here, but I'm sorry. And they pull their gun and they're going to try to attack you.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Great.
yeah. Oh, no.
Didn't get a chance to do anything there. Wow, we were just walking around.
Yeah, they're like
You're
these
getting
people
your
just,
chance now.
they just ran out. And like they saw that you were back there, and like you saw them and they see you. Oh, it's got to work.
Everyone's gonna be so upset with us.
Can we tell if they ran out because they saw us, or if they were running out anyway, and we just happened to like run into each other?
They ran out. This is entirely coincidental. It's entirely coincidental. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here.
Okay, then yeah, we gotta
So
fight.
the question is, who is surprised? Because there's no initiative, so whoever is the aggressor gets to act. You can see that they're holding hand pistols, and they're gonna fire at you and try to kill you. Um, are you all wearing your armor?
I think the
Right,
correct
Yes.
answer is yes.
Okay. What does everybody have? Like cloth armor?
Yeah, cloth
Okay.
armor.
All right.
I have cloth armor, and does the vac suit act as armor? Do those layer at all?
I've been having the vac suit act as cloth armor. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I have both, but yes, I've been wearing my vac suit by default most of the time.
Okay. All right. So
I've got cloth armor.
to determine surprise, and otherwise I'll let you all act first and choose how you want to act. Marcello, roll a d6, and if you are 3 greater than or less than my result, then you will be surprised or not surprised. I got a 6. 2, just 1, barely. Okay, so you are not surprised, so you're able to act. What do you do?
God. Very quickly, what's the tactical situation around me? Is there that I can dive for?
Yeah, let me draw like one and kind of put it up here so you can make some decisions on that. So you got a building here, and behind the building are like a bunch of dumpsters, and there are walls, and there's a bunch of trash, and there's a dock at a higher level here that goes up, and there are 3 doors that go into the fun zone and 2 restaurants, and there's piles of trash, and there's a substation here, power substation. And I will also even put you all down here so you can move your tokens. So let's see, we got Perseus, should be able to move your token, Marcello, and Shipley. And then these are 2 female ne'er-do-wells that you see. Maybe, I mean, you don't know what their story is. They run out this door. Let's see if I can. Whoa. Sorry about that.
In the hyperspace?
No, I just actually let me go ahead and kill that.
So Ross, is the power substation permeable? I mean, is it a solid wall, or is it like equipment and stuff like that that I can hide in and get some cover?
It has like, you know, it is permeable on the outside, and then the center of it has a bunch of, you know, things that are like electrical panels, like power boxes that you could remove and interface with and stuff. So you could try to get behind that if you wanted.
Yeah,
think
that's
maybe better
Go
to
ahead.
hide behind the dumpsters just because, like, a stray gunshot hitting the substation. I don't mess with electricity, you know what I mean?
You know, you're a wiser man than I. Probably a good plan. All right, so as soon as he sees the guns come out, Marcello dives behind the dumpster, puts his back against it, and draws his weapon.
Blast him.
You can go ahead and move your token.
Ross, did you say these people looked like employees, had uniforms or anything, or did they just look like 2 ladies coming out?
They look like 2 ladies. You notice that they are wearing the single-colored suits similar to the 2 people out front.
Okay. I mean, I'll do pretty much the same thing as Marcello, try to duck behind the dumpster with my weapon drawn, and I guess I'll wait to see how they act.
All right, they're able to move, so I'm going to follow the procedure here. So no one's surprised, so you all moved. What does Shipley do?
I'm also taking cover behind the dumpster.
All right, so they pull guns out and you all dive behind a dumpster. All right, do you pull your weapons out or do you keep them holstered?
I'm pulling mine out.
Okay, so they see you pull weapons
Got mine
out.
out as well.
They dive behind this wall. Actually going to see if there's a chance they get hurt. But, well, all right. And you probably can't see them now from behind this cover. But they will immediately like go around the corner and try to fire at any elbow, anything that they can see here poking out from Perseus. Because they seem committed to actually killing you. Like outright killing you.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Movement status. They moved, and now, if you're going to attack, you can do that now. I can tell you what your modified target is if you want.
Let's start with words. I'm going to just call out at them. Calm down, you nut jobs. What are you attacking us for? This isn't a battlefield.
We're just here for the restaurant. We just wanted some grub.
We got no beef. We got no beef with you.
The woman is like, she looks around, she looks at you, she's like, all right, I'll make you a deal. Otherwise, we'll have to put you down. But we don't have time. We have to get out of here now. Get inside the dumpster.
What are your term?
What? Why?
She turns around and starts shooting again. Hey. Get inside the dumpster.
Oh my god, okay.
Okay, so actual gunshots have rung out then?
Yeah.
Okay, are they audible from wherever I'm at?
No, I'm assuming, so this occurs, I rolled for about an hour, so this is while they're searching, so you're out looking with books for admin office.
All right.
Okay, so you all...
Although,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, although with some difficulty, I try to engage my comm unit to try to give the captain a combination of a status report and a cry for help.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
You hear the gunfire. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, sure. I will crawl. I'm not above crawling into a dumpster.
All right. If that's the case, if everybody gets in the dumpster, you merely hear footsteps hurriedly.
I do it angrily
on the pavement as someone flees. And after a couple minutes, if you poke your head out of the dumpster, you just have a smelly back alley behind the place where the employees are, and no one comes back here.
I think we should choose a different restaurant to get some supper at.
I agree.
I think we need to go clothes shopping.
Yeah.
All right.
Wiping a big stinky smear off the back of my pants.
Now, meanwhile, before you get the radio call, what's going on with Bellamy and Books? You are able to find an admin office. It's similar in a way to the kind of rows of extremely boring admin offices that are just boxed in together, the way the McClellan office was on Flammarion. There is someone attending the office. You see a man there. He also looks like a spacer, like a belter. Pale and drawn and sickly looking. What do you do?
Hey there, friend. How's the day going?
Oh, yeah. Actually. Nice. He smiles, a partially tooth-missing smile. He's like, "Oh, hello, come on in."
Hey, yeah. We just put into port and got this big load of beer trying to get off our hands and wondering if this is the kind of place that's looking for that kind of thing.
No kidding.
Yes, sir. Not a bad price, too.
I swear, I think that the stars sent you to me. Why, as it happens, one of our restaurant locations is running low on beer. Cannot believe it. You're not playing a prank on me, are you?
You know, in another life, maybe I'd be the pranking sort, but I don't got the time, friend. Got to make that nut, you know?
Well, let's see what you got. He asked for something like a data pad that you have,
Yep.
or
I'll
anything.
I'll show him the cargo manifest, and
All right, let's roll to see what you can sell it for. He's looking at it. He's like, they're about at the point where this is exactly what they need. But this is pretty cheap. It's about to run out here soon. And you can roll your throw for the actual value, and you can add a +2 to the result. Plus, you have
okay.
admin, which is another.
Somehow my Edge browser, which is my PDF viewer, was closed. I did probably one of my kids did it. I don't have that open right now. Is that a 2d6 or a 3d6? What is that?
2d6, and you'll add 3 to the result.
11.
11. You gain a plus 50% profit. Or no, that's more than that. 60, 70, about a 70% profit.
70% profit or 70% over the base?
Over the well, because I'm sorry. I think you bought it for 80%, right?
I think it was less than that, right? It was 70. It was 70 because it was
Okay.
7. It was 7,000 instead of, or was 700. What was it? What's the base price for liquor?
Well,
10,000.
Well, he's willing to buy this. He says, I look, I got to tell you, this is exactly what I need right now. And those clients at that restaurant location, I just got to make them happy. I hope you understand. But I don't want any questions, and we don't got any time to negotiate. And he puts in a figure. This is 150% of base price. So he's offering you. Let me see the result.
I think that's 15,000 per ton.
Yeah, this is liquor. 10,000.
Yeah, so that should be 15,000 a ton then.
And you got what, 45 tons?
No, God, I wish we have like 11.
Wow, yeah, that's
right?
right, 11 tons.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's offering you 165,000.
Thank you. Sold.
Oh,
So much more frustrated this is happening simultaneously with us
yeah,
getting
and
attacked.
then, no, exactly. This happens, and immediately, all of a sudden, your radio starts blaring. It's like, Captain, we're under fire, and you hear gunfire.
Well, pleasure to meet you, friend. I quickly shake his hand.
Duty calls.
She was gone for like 5 minutes.
Hey,
Thank
everybody,
goodness that guy didn't ask where you got your beer from.
He's
hey,
like,
well,
"I've questioned
like
now."
he said, he doesn't have any questions. So
You establish the sale with an invoice and arrange for the cargo to be transferred immediately. Unfortunately, when you get back there, you find your crewmates very smelly and nasty, and the location is the police are arriving now. So, but you already made your sale.
okay. Well,
Captain, I swear it wasn't our fault. Scott's honor. We just went around the back, and these two ladies just they just looked at us, and just started shooting.
and none of you took any shots, right?
No.
All right, so that means all the ammo is going to still be in your gun. Cops aren't going to be too into it, I hope. But it'll look bad if we try to run now. You said the police are just arriving, so that means like my crew is the only witnesses to anything.
Yep.
I mean, do we have time to scoot, or are they going to see us scoot if we leave?
No, you could totally scoot.
I think
Yeah.
we should scoot.
Let's
outta here,
leave.
Captain.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, you make it away from that entertainment complex, and
It was very entertaining.
Yes.
Too entertaining. So
Well, I report that the cargo is sold. So Now we gotta find some more.
All right. You can, of course, look at the starport for cargo that is going out. I have that
Yeah.
you want to go to.
Well, I wanted to bring this up with the crew. I actually suggest
So,
I suggest a detour.
well, first of all, where were we going?
We were going to go from here to 567-908. And we'll check to see what cargoes are going to go out. But here's the thing, there's no population there. We'd have to get lucky to find cargo going there, and we'd have to get even luckier to buy cargo that somebody would want to buy there. But I think if we go just on a little bit of a detour towards the Spinward, back towards TimbR, and then to Raal, and then to Iterati, maybe. We take that route, we stand to make, I think, a good bit more coin. And we can come back this way, you know. But anyway, I just want to throw it out there. We'll see what's available, and we'll see what we think it looks like. But if we want to try to make more money sooner, that might be better. Because it could get a little sticky trying to get between here, even just getting from here to Squalia, because I'm going to have to make that payment somewhere right around.
Let me bring the map up. I'm sure it's hard for, unless you guys are using Traveler Map.
Yeah, by the way, guys, I have Traveler Map open on a separate tab.
I always have it there just in case, but I don't pry too closely.
Yeah. But the populations are better over there, and our markets are going to be a little bit kinder. I know we want
to put forth a suggestion. You said we have 3 weeks. We got to make that payment.
Just about that, yeah.
And every jump is 1 week. Actually, who do we pay it to? Because how do we make a payment at distance?
Basically, you put the payment in anywhere, and there are couriers whose job it is. Now, that's actually going to be up to Ross. But I mean, you know, you might not be able to make a payment, for example, at a Class E starport. I don't know. It would have to be a place that had regular mail deliveries, and because your payment is going to be carried in the form of, you know, either directly by courier if it's cash, or in the form of electronic data cube or something back to.
But like everything else, it does have to travel.
Yeah,
a lot
but if the bank that has the mortgage has branches on multiple planets, which it almost certainly does, then there's probably many places we can make the payment directly. But that's going to be determined by the referee, like where those branches are and all that kind of thing.
I want to propose to the crew an idea, and hopefully, you know, heaven forbid it comes to this, but if we get down to the wire, like 1 week left, and we still haven't made the money we need to make that payment, it's time to talk about doing that heist. Now we can, you know, pick our mark, so they're, you know, someone who's not going to miss it, nobody who's going to have to get hurt. But at some point, we're going to have to consider more than just selling crappy beer.
I want to know,
of course,
we talked about this last time. You do have a job waiting for you on Squalia.
Yeah, so there's jobs on Squalia, but the issue is getting even from here to Squalia without.
You'll lose 3 weeks, assuming if you didn't have any cargo, which you'll have some. But
But well, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, when you're talking about cargo that's going to 0 population worlds, you know, or very low pop worlds.
So, the other thing, just for me to, I'll answer your question, Alex, is let me reframe it though. What happens when you don't pay? Like, never mind, you know, if you put it in a computer or something, right? But what happens is, as soon as it comes due, and I have the date that it will come due, I have it currently, you've arrived 056. Lost track of the date. Well, we'll just say it's 056 of year 1114. And your payment is going to come due on. It's going to come due on 8/6 of 11/14. So every jump is 7 days off that, right? So
Okay, so we're 30 days out then?
yeah, and maybe I have
Okay.
that. Maybe 5/6 is probably when you started. I just
Okay, so let's,
so
because
so
I mean, we
you're-
definitely spent a week in,
Sure.
or however many hours.
Yeah, you're like, so it's like 6/1. I don't know
Okay.
where I have it here, but anyways, what happens when you don't? So as soon as that day happens, at the end of the session, I'm gonna debit that directly from like the crew fund. I made like a little crew fund section, and that's gonna go to a negative number, just like that. You don't explode or anything. But the rules talk about something called skipping. Is the concept. A skipper, a group that's skipping, is somebody that skips on payments. When you skip on payments, the worlds have a chance, and your cargo and passengers have a chance to be bounty hunters and marshals and people coming after you and people trying to repossess or issue warrants and stuff like that. And it's just a chance. It's not even guaranteed. But that's what happens when you haven't paid.
Is it an increasing chance, or is it just to become a chance that's static from that point on?
I think it's just static. I don't even. It says.
In the later games,
Oh
they
wait,
put
no,
a
I'm
thing.
wrong.
Okay, because in the later games, they do a thing where it's basically like banks understand that travelers sometimes have difficulties
Oh
finding.
no. You know what?
But
You know
then,
what's worse? It gets worse the closer you to get to home, and you know where that is.
right.
Now,
Yeah.
now, I know this is not a good idea. We shouldn't do this. It wouldn't help our credit score. But can you make up previous missed payments? Like if we miss the first one, but then we have a huge payout somehow, and then we just like cover it along with the next one.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
was
gonna
that
say yes.
wipe the slate clean? No more bounty hunters.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if you can get yourself paid off and clean, you're good to go. But
Banks are ruthless.
yeah, I mean, they'll just repo your life in this world. But so that's enough, and they just want their money. But it also, imagine that stacking up. Imagine getting 300, 400,000 credits in debt, and then like how are you gonna
But
pay that off?
here's the thing. So now the problem is, now TimbR is also low population, so it's a risk either way. But I don't know. Maybe we just take the risk and go trailing as our original plan and head towards where we know we might have some work.
Can you remind me what system are we on right now? Are we on Astaltine?
Astaltine.
Okay. The original idea was to go to 5, 6, 7, 9, 08.
Yeah, but now here's another idea. Because there's nothing in the book that says we have to buy cargo that is going to be sold only one jump away. We could get some cargo that we hope to sell on Faldor, for example. And all we would need to have would be the money for fuel at 5, 6, 7, 9, 08. And
Maybe we could even pick up something to sell at 5, 6, 7, 9, 08 and bring
Right.
that to Faldor too.
Exactly. So I think actually that might be a better plan, because Faldor, I think, is going to be a better market than either 5, 6, 7 or Bowman. And we can do the same plan going from Faldor to Squalio. We can just plan to haul cargo over 2 jumps, and or collect more along the way, but have Squalio be our market.
I like that idea.
I haven't
Because
looked
right now,
at the
we got a pretty good amount of capital right now. We just made a sale. We got 165,000. And okay, where are we keeping track of that?
I have some bad
By the way,
news.
I haven't looked at the rules for trade, but is system population size a very significant
Very
factor
significant. Very significant. Yes. It's a factor not only in a lot of things. It's a factor in how many cargo lots are going to be going to that place. It's a factor in how likely you are to find a buyer for speculative cargo. The kinds of cargo that are available to buy and sell there easily. That kind of all sorts of stuff.
I have bad news too. In fact, being a jump one ship, you can only carry 4 lot cargo going to jump one destination. So you'd have to take cargo from. Now, speculative cargo, not true at all. You can carry it around with you because you literally buy it.
You own it, yeah. Okay, so that's fair enough. So what's this? Okay, so stopping by the starport, data kiosk or admin office or something. What are the lots, if any, that are going out to 567-908?
There are none, and no passengers. It seems your previous passengers also are not going that way now.
Wow.
Perhaps they took your warning.
Wow.
We can't
Okay.
do like market research on what would be in demand in Faldor from here.
Yeah, you could try to do
Like
that.
you said, speculative goods and all that.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
The bad part is that like it's worth noting being a traveler is weird. Like not everybody is a traveler, right? Most people, even around the starport, people just stay on their world. Like not everybody plies in space back and forth, right? So, and the other thing is there's no like internet, right? Like it's almost like hard for us, for me, when I think about it, it's like hard to even comprehend this. But a person on Astaltine has no idea what's going on Faldor. Like, which is mind-boggling, right? But they depend on this flow of information that's delayed, and of course what they would know from Faldor would be better. That's why the best place to get information is actually a bar by talking to someone. And then beyond that, you may not have someone in the bar that's been to Faldor, so you have to like search around and talk to people. But you can get its UPP data from the Starport Authority. You can do that.
okay, what about lots going to the other way?
The bar?
Yeah.
No cargo.
And I almost hate to ask, but what about Flammarion?
There are 2 lots, a major lot and a minor lot. A 60-ton load of cargo and a 25-ton.
Wow, that's 85,000 right there. Now on Flammarion, well, yeah. What do y'all think?
I'll put it to you this way, Captain. Whatever you want to do, you're the one who does the cost-benefit analyses. So your judgment on those matters, I'm just going to trust entirely. My only input has to do with, wanting to make sure that we're always going closer towards where we already have friends, as opposed to further away from them. Which is why I might be inclined towards Flammarion or, in the direction of Walston.
Well, let's take some surveys here while we're here, because Ross, I don't remember specifically that scout guy. He's looking for any data, isn't he?
No, he's looking for specific data. It's actually kind of he basically wants like the world sample data of each kind. So let me run down what you need. Let's see, Astaltine. So he wants to verify the UPP data, which is something you would need to do in person, right? So you need to go and you need to actually check. All right, where's the government? What does it do? How's it work? Who's in charge here? So you like go around and figure that out. And then for the outside the starport, he wants to verify the world with at least a scan and a sample. But you can do the scan when you're in space. But then he wants you to actually go on the planet and like verify it as a person too.
Right, but it's any world, right?
Yeah.
Any world, so
Yeah.
including Astaltine. So we can make a quick 10 grand while we're here. Because that's what he said, right? It's 10 grand per planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
But we have to return to Flammarion to cash in, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's do that this time then. Let's sign on for all those lots. It's 80. That's more tonnage than I have actually. We can't take all of that. I can't fit it all, and they can't be split up. We can take the 60 ton. So we'll take that one.
Right.
And we will also look for a cargo then that's going to Flammarion. I'm gonna have to. So for the sake of I know you all action junkies don't want to be hanging around here with an old man at a table at the starport talking about cargo. So maybe we take a trip today down to the planet, check things out, have a look around, get our data, come back.
Makes sense to
Sounds
me.
good.
Sure.
Damn,
Yeah, sounds
no,
good.
no offense to the Lady of Mercia. You know, she's beautiful. I appreciate her carrying me around, but she is the biggest problem in my life.
Well, let's go try to fight a bigger one then. If getting shot at once wasn't enough.
All right. To put it in a less specific way, basically, he wants you to also kind of be like intelligence agents. Like he wants to know what's going on in the world, you know.
Okay.
So.
Well, then maybe a better place to start would be to go back and see what we can see. Well, let's see. The starport it's local. It's all run locally, right? The starport's not run by a different group than.
Yeah, this is a non-aligned place, I recall. Very independent.
Yeah. Well, it's also, from what the initial scout data says, entirely lawless, or at least it's anarchic.
It's my impression of it after what went down back there.
Yeah, the starport has very few restrictions going on, and it's a rough and tumble place, I guess. So I don't think we need to get embroiled too much in the union's business necessarily, but is there anyone? I wonder how this place runs.
You'll have to go find
Who
out.
runs it? Yeah. Let me go speak to my friend. Let's go back to that to our friend at the fun zone.
Yeah, but what's everyone else doing? Like, what's what's kind of, I don't know, come up with a whole big scheme here. Well, that's probably your starting point. You want to know like a.
I'd like to go as a group over to the.
Makes sense.
And introduce everybody
Maybe
to
we can make a stop first to shower and change some clothes.
Yeah, I was just about to say that this.
Yeah, let's.
At this point,
I had forgotten about that. Go ahead. Sorry, Ron.
Enough time has passed and enough things have happened that essentially you need to get a hotel. You need a place to stay. So, I think it's 50. No, it's 30 credits.
What's wrong with our boat?
That's like going back.
30 credits per hotel.
Yeah. And I think it's 10 credits.
We couldn't just sleep on the ship.
You could, but what happens is you basically go like back through customs and sleep on, so you lose time, and it's like, I mean, I think about it. you essentially are sleeping in a you're not sleeping on the world. So you'll come back in. So I'll so it's like at an airport where like it's
think I
all
got
right,
you.
yeah, you've left customs, you're no longer here again, and then you'll come back in, you'll do that again. So you could do that. I mean, you'd save 40 credits, but
Let's not do that.
I will
Let's not do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the butt. Let's get a hotel.
And what that would look
Yeah.
like is just me. It would increase time, so I would be like, you'd have to go do that. That's all that. Like part of the time of the day.
Okay,
Okay.
so current ship finances is 165,000 even.
Per month.
No, I'm asking. That's after that sale we just made. There's no. I don't think there was any spare change before, right? We kicked back whatever was leftovers.
Yeah, that's you made 165,000. Yep. You're sold.
Okay, I'm just making a note separately. Okay, so we need to go clothes shopping then. Let's go. Let's go to the mall, shall we?
Less dangerous.
Yeah, we'll find a hotel, but we'll do some night shopping, near the hotel. There's probably some. We can probably ask some traveler type obnoxious questions of the locals and see what's going on. Who's in charge around here.
Going to the mall, I would like to reissue my suggestion to the crew that we start a band for when we're in hyperspace.
I'm
I'll
down.
play harmonica.
Well, we'll stop by the guitar center too.
I flew with this guy, and that was his whole thing, and it was really charming. Is we'd fly into a place, and he would find the local guitar center and go in and just play the guitar and talk about instruments with them, and then depart. That was it. It
Yeah.
was great.
I thought you were
He
gonna
used to-
say
he
he
used to
played the
make
harmonica
puppets
as you're
and, like,
flying.
He used to make paper puppets and put them up on top of the shield and the glare shield. He was great. Anyways,
That's funny.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, you guys you get a hotel, and to be clear, you don't have to do that. But basically, I mean, I'm thinking like in the real world. Basically, it would be like sleeping on the plane, which you can totally do, but it just takes part of your day. And so yeah, you may be in a situation in the future like we're gonna stay on our ship. This is crazy or something, But anyways, okay, so you get a hotel, you get food, you go to the mall, you shop around and stuff. You're asking around to see who's in charge. Who would do that? Who is? What do you like? Go to the Orange Julius and like slide up somebody and ask somebody at the mall what this place is about. Ask one of the locals.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Or like we should ask like one person of each type. You ask a soccer mom if there is such a person. Ask a spotty teenage clerk. Bad attitude. Somebody like ask the person who's going to say the best things, and ask the person who's going to say the worst things, and get a sense of.
Okay. Sure. So what you will be told is, first of all, most people are proud of this place. They like it here. They like the sense of freedom, of rugged independence, of making your own way. There is a sense of you need to either pull your own weight or nobody's going to help you. And I think this is something that if you go to the food court, this will be something that you have to kind of notice to see. So I'm going to say that you need to roll under your intelligence to notice something if you're trying to go and ask around. Everybody can attempt this. Whoever does the lowest roll will notice this if anybody succeeds.
You need one more
Apparently I
d6.
got 2.
You need to roll one more.
Oh, that was 1. Okay. So my roll was 2, and then my second roll was 1, so that's 3 together.
Okay.
Should have hit the 2 button.
Okay, my first roll was 2, and my second roll is 3, so that's 5.
All right, so it's looking like Shipley so far. Like Shipley.
Play.
This conversation begins with the local spaceball mom. All right, between like some of the crew members, and you notice people walking by. Maybe you have this kind of hypervigilance, and you have seen aliens. Like you've seen huge cat-like people as you've walked around. Unless you've and you can let me know, like, I want to go figure out this cat person. But otherwise, like, you just see them off at a distance. But clearly an alien, not a human. You've seen a spattering of Vargr. But then you see something that I wonder, and you could tell me this, if it's something Shipley would know. But you see people in armor and weapons, and they have really, how do I put this? Flamboyant armor, like very ostentatious armor. And you think these two people are a kind of enemy of the Imperium that are here in this, here out in the Bowman Arm. These are sword worlders. They look like Vikings in space.
Epic.
Oh.
Okay. I'll just kind of try not to draw their attention, like not make eye contact, and then if I'm not involved with the soccer mom conversation, I'll kind of discreetly draw Bellamy's attention. Like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they doing? Shopping?
No, they're not in the complex. This is something that you see them. Shipley saw them pass by outside in the starport. Yeah. Walking by.
Oh, interesting.
I guess I'll, can I ask the soccer mom about sword wielders? Just like slip it into the conversation. Oh, since the Confederation is close, I'll make something about how they must get a lot of traffic through here.
She crosses her arms and looks at you indignantly because she can see the cyberware on your faces. And she's like, "We welcome every kind here."
Oh, I'm so glad you're happy to see me.
Yeah, we don't pick sides. Just whoever can make a buck and get by. Those are the people that we like. You'll also learn from her that this place is basically ran by a corporation, but it's a co-op, which you've heard of before, called Hardway Shipping. Hardway Shipping. And
I have notes about that.
Hardway Shipping is a co-op of indie operators that operate on a agreement, sort of like a guild, and they have a reputation for caring a lot about this kind of rugged sense of being able to pull through on your own, that's probably all you would hear from her, is that Hardway Shipping Lines runs the place, and it's like a group of indie free trader captains, or like almost like little indie admirals that have their own little fleets, have kind of like conglomerated here, and they're the ones that negotiate with one another to run this place and operate it and keep it running.
A quick interjection. Wanted to know who else in the party might have a high dex. No one,
I'm
huh?
Yeah, I
behind.
mean, I do.
You're the captain, and I want
I
to
will-
drag you into this. This should
Like,
be an
I
away
went in.
game that
I don't know what you consider high.
above 7, I guess.
Okay, then yeah, I have above 7.
I want to propose this would be easier with 2 people, hailing those sword worlders for a little bit to see how big their presence is on the planet, because that is something I'm sure would fit nicely into a scout services report. Just to get a sense of like, are they in significant numbers here in the station? This requires a little bit of
Point.
sneakery, of course, and I wouldn't want to do that by myself.
Couldn't we get that by talking to various people and seeing, like, because the soccer moms seem to think they were pretty, not common, but not unheard of occurrence. So then wouldn't we be able to get a feel for that from the locals?
Probably, but I was just thinking, better to gather intel from multiple avenues and see how much of it lines up. You never know if, like, you follow them and you've discovered that they have, like, a whole warship here or something.
That's true.
Otherwise, you can get back to talking to the soccer mom.
Okay, so you guys are gonna... You thinking of, like, forming a team and trying to go and query them? Talk to them?
If we're
I'll
going to
drop
talk to
that
them,
idea for now. Unless we
why does
see
our
more of
dexterity
them,
matter?
I'll drop that for now.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. There's no reason to, well, anyway. Yeah, I mean, Bellamy, if she points him out, would just shrug, I think. Hey, they're here, we're here.
Right.
What we need to do is find a cargo. We got...
You gotta get a tattoo saying that, Captain.
Hey, how do you know I don't already? So, all right. So have we learned enough in our evening trip of the mall to at least get a sense for the authority level? I think Ross described it pretty well. But does it still fall within a 0, or is that up to the scout service to make that determination? We just, we don't have to assign numbers. We just bring them back whatever we learn about the place.
What are you're asking? What is it you're asking about?
In terms of having to scout the place out, have we determined enough yet to find out whether this place still is a 0 in terms of authority, government type?
You probably need to verify this with a record. Like, go to one of these indie free trader bosses. Not maybe the boss, but you need to know that they're there. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, to me,
well, they sound like my kind of people. So
Yeah.
that
you
sounds
could,
good to me.
You could take your throne here, perhaps, and be like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Or not.
all right. Well, yeah, that's what I would say. Like, you need boots on the ground. That's what they're looking for. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we want to know that this is here. Anyways, yeah, there is this info that maybe there's sword worlders here, that there could be different outsiders. And let me see. It's a really large starport. You can tell from here and on your way in that the primary planet is a liquid ammonia planet, which I noted when you came into land. So the planet surface is not settled, but there's also a planetary belt, and that's what this station is based in, is a big asteroid or a big planetoid or whatever.
Okay. So let's finish up by taking a turn around the planet then. Let's hop in the ship. I mean, are we now? Is it now time to go to sleep for that day?
Yeah, actually.
You mentioned that we had to get a hotel or whatever, or we had to figure out a place to sleep, and we were doing a little night mall shopping. But I was thinking, our next item on the agenda should be let's verify all the physical characteristics of the world.
Let's do that first thing in the morning then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you go to the hotel, and it is a really crappy hotel with small rooms, but I mean, not much worse than the ship though, as far as the size of the rooms. And you get up and you have some grub, some local food, and yeah, what do you do for the day? It is now, and yeah, I don't know where I wrote it, but like, it should be 063. Would be 064 now. I thought I wrote it somewhere, but I'll just put that for now. 064 1114.
Okay. I think we skipped a day, but that's okay.
No, 063. I don't want to skip a day.
All right. Yeah. So let's hop in the Lady of Mercia and just take a turn around the planet. Through maybe just scan out the asteroid belt. Might take us a couple days actually. You said the station's situated in the asteroid belt, so is that close? Like, it's probably pretty.
It's a planetary belt, yeah.
Oh, so it's a ring,
yeah,
basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a turn around and see what we can see.
You start heading toward the starport when a woman in robes, not robes, I don't know what to call this, but a long dress-like coat type arrangement that goes all the way down to her ankles. She comes up to you and she says, "Wait," and she looks at your face. You can see that cyberware, and she says, "Are you from the Imperium?"
Once upon a time, maybe.
Oh, well, at least a loyal citizen then.
Well, we've sure given enough for it.
My name is Isabella, and I'm part of an organization here. You look like travelers. She notes that Chapman is wearing his back suit, part of it.
No, I just find these terribly comfortable.
She laughs as well, and she says, "Well, I'm having a terrible time trying to get some help here. It's like no one in this asteroid wants to help me."
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, lady, but what's the job and how much?
I see. Well, very well, traveler. You will get paid. But I'm looking for transportation to Raleigh. The people there are suffering. I'm part of an aid group. And I have a group of us that are supposed to go there and help organize relief efforts and receive ships into Raleigh. But I can't find a ship that's willing to even take us here. I wish I'd never come to this Stars Forsaken rock.
Well, here's the deal. We did just sign on to carry 60 tons to Flammarion.
Flammarion. I see.
Now, when we get there, it may well be that our next stop after that will be in that direction, but I make no guarantees. But you might find yourself a good jump to ship there or something like that could get you where you're going.
I see. How many staterooms do you have?
10. Oh, well, no, hold on. We got really actually 4 available, right?
4? Oh, dear. There's
We
8
can
Or is
of
it,
us.
is it, so it's, well, no, we have 5 available.
Well, and you also have Lothak, to be clear.
Okay, so yeah, 4. It is 10 staterooms total. Yeah.
Look real quick on your character sheet for the Lady of Mercia. It has components.
Yeah, 10 staterooms.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not seeing that, but thank you.
It's in the second column on the very top under accommodations.
So that means you have 4. She's like, oh no, we have 8 people.
Well, we do have low berths too.
Low berths. Oh dear.
I mean, we can. Now, this is a question for you, Ross.
I'll say you can do double occupancy if you pay.
Okay, because
you have to pay the extra life support, but you can do it.
Okay, so we could squeeze a couple of you in. You understand? It's not going to be any cheaper. Got to pay the life support costs.
And this is where you can pitch this cell. How much do you want to squeeze this poor humanitarian aid worker? It's in dire straits.
Humanitarian aid workers always have money. Somebody else's money, but they have money anyway.
Let's see.
I have no idea how poor she is. I just know she needs a ship.
And you need money. You just know that. You just know she needs a ship, you have one, and you need money.
That's
it.
Just
so happens.
She can give us some humanitarian aid.
Here's a question. Now, obviously, this is a matter of some urgency for them. I wonder how bad their time crunch is. Is it like something where they need to get going like now? Like we got to skip out on this whole like scout service data collection thing?
Well,
or do we still have time? Like we tell them, yeah, we'll take you there right after we do the run around this planet.
Let's find out how much she wants to pay. But yeah. When does she need to leave?
Why don't you, Chapman? Why don't you make the pitch? What would you say to her?
Well, we take the work we can get, and unfortunately, the most fickle resource we have is the time and opportunity cost. So whatever, if we accept what you're offering, it's going to come at the expense of other potential opportunities that we could have been looking at. Now, right now, we were just about to do some basic data gathering work for the scout services. Actually, just quick question, Ross. How long do we expect that would take us? Would it be a matter of hours, days?
I think there are... In the case of a terrestrial planet, you would need to actually go into the wilderness to actually verify what's there. But in this case, you just need to do the scans of the solar system and the planet, and you need to actually go verify the government. Like, you need to actually be like, all right, we've seen that these are the people in charge, and this is what's going on here. So it will take you a day, and then it's probably true. It'll probably take you a few days to swing around the solar system. To me, it makes sense to load the cargo and people up first, and then go around the solar system.
Or
you may not have... Oh, never mind. There's no gas giant here. So yeah, I guess it makes sense to do that first. Sorry,
So,
what were you saying, though?
No. I'm just trying to, tell her sort of our game plan of things, and like, I agree with the captain that, Flammarion is the place that you're going to find a ship that's actually going to be able to get you to where you're going as quickly as possible. But unless you're like really, 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 really able to make it worth our while, you're not going to talk us out of making our trip to Flammarion just to drop off the cargo that we have for them. Well, that being said, I don't think that needs to be a problem or a conflict at all. I think, you might benefit from hitching a ride with us to Flammarion, even though it looks like it's out of the way to Raleigh.
She thinks for a moment, she wrings her hands, and she says, well, what would direct passage to Raleigh be worth?
Would you say it was our contract it's taken us to Flammarion?
That's a 60,000 credit load.
Yeah, that would be, in the neighborhood of 60,000 credits to make it worth skipping out on that just to go straight to DeBar.
We
But
more
again,
than
I want to emphasize, we don't necessarily need to do that because we can go to Flammarion, fulfill that contract, bring you along with. And when we're at Flammarion, you can find another ship that has jump 2 capability. You'll get to Raleigh in the same amount of time.
For 10 passengers, going 2 jumps is going to be a lot more than 60, even at the going rate.
She looks nervously between you two as you all say this, and
I'll try to say this discreetly to the captain. We don't want to scare her with a big number. We want to talk her into seeing the value in joining us going to Flammarion. We can get to her destination in the same amount of time, but we could also get paid for what we're trying to do.
She yells out. She's like, "We'll pay double. We'll pay double whatever it usually is. But only if we go there directly."
All right, Captain, this is on you.
Okay. All right. So double. I mean, if I remember correctly, the standard rate is 10,000 for middle passage, isn't it? Or is it 12,000?
It's 8,000.
Oh, 8,000.
She gives these furtive glances behind her.
Okay, so 16,000 per for 8. She said there's 8 of them.
There are 8 of them. I have those 128,000
to go
to Raleigh.
That would be to DeBar and then to Raleigh. Fastest that we can get there with our little ship.
$128 for 2 jumps. And we end up... Hey, what's going on Raleigh? What are you trying to get there? What's so desperate?
Raleigh is in a state of absolute and abject economic collapse. The people there are desperate. We're going in to try to assess the situation and prepare for more aid ships from the Imperium to come in. But we found ourselves here on this stupid asteroid. We've been here for weeks. Well, between here and other places in the Bowman Arm, there are other rocks out in Bowman. This place is terrible. No offense, Captain.
You have the cash?
Well, we can get it to you when we get there.
When we get to Raleigh.
Right.
I see. Let me confer with my crew.
What were we trying to take to Flammarion with us? I forget.
It's just a 60-ton lot. I'm sure we could probably. I mean, I don't know, Ross. I said we sign up for it. Can we unsign up for it and it just goes back into the lots that are waiting to go?
Yeah.
So it's a guarantee.
Sounds exciting to me.
What we're giving up is a guaranteed 60 for the promise of 128 when we get there. And this woman doesn't have the cash.
Along with the achievement of doing good and helping people out who need it.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what's going on Raleigh? Because I don't.
No idea.
Okay. She could
Sounds
be telling
terrible.
us anything. She could be telling us anything, and it wouldn't matter. Let me remind you, she's coming to us straight up. That's not the way you're supposed to do this stuff. You're supposed to go through the passenger services, and that's how we got our other passengers. Remember? So that's how you, and then the payment's there, and it's there, and you get paid. This woman's got nothing but a story about some kind of a sob story meant to make our hearts bleed.
Well, how about this?
Does she have anyone? Does she have anyone who can vouch for her?
Yeah, let's split the party. Half of us
Better 8
ask,
friends.
can we meet your people? Yeah, we'll get to know them, see if this is going to work for us. We want to know. We won't go into business with them unless we can get a better sense.
Yeah, and also she's looking around. She's looking kind of nervous, and it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
And
then the other part
her.
of the party goes around rounding up some information about Raleigh and seeing how legit that is.
Yeah, good call. I'm gonna say, you looking for someone?
Who do you say that to?
to the lady.
Looking for, oh, because she's looking behind her.
Yeah.
She says, no, it's just, ever since I got here, this place has just been terrible. 2 of my workers have been mugged, and I think people are following us. At this point, I just want to get off this asteroid. Look, I understand. If you don't want to take us to Raleigh, we'll pay the fare to get to Flammarion.
You'll pay us the fare?
Yes, we'll just pay, but I can't guarantee I can only maybe do. I'm not sure. She'll quote you like a fraction of the normal price, but not like I'm thinking it'll be something like 42,666.
Wasn't she just promising us to pay us double?
Yeah, but only when you get there.
And only if we go directly
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for Flammarion, and this is and she says, I think it'll take me a week or 2 though to try to get the funds into Flammarion though.
Okay, look. Yeah, have you go meet the crew. Meet her people. Books, Chapman and Marcello and Shipley, why don't you flip for it? The other one can come with me.
Flip for it.
Or you could just, I don't know, draw straws, beat each other up, or I just pick.
Who wants
4, 5,
to meet
6,
some
it's me.
humanitarians?
1, 2, 3, it's Marcello. I'll go meet the humanitarians. I just want to say that the other group should maybe ask around discreetly about what the humanitarians have been doing on Astaltine.
Yeah, we'll try to find out what they're doing on Astaltine. Yeah, you're going with them. Yeah, you should. I mean, how they got here. Yeah, you should ask them all those questions.
Well, yes, I just want to know if they're spinning us a yarn, then the other people asking an outside observer. I mean, they might know if they've also been, spinning sob
We might
stories.
meet like 10 homeless people that were mugged by these alleged humanitarians. It's the other way around.
Exactly.
Sure. Well,
So I'll say to Isabella, I'll address her. We'd like to meet your folks, see what you're about. Hopefully make you feel a little more comfortable and at home here on the asteroid for hopefully your last day here. Because we've done more extensive jobs like this before, and we like to know who we're working with when we do that. So, is it okay if you introduce us?
And I want to tell her, hey, look, I want to help you out, especially for that price. But we're gonna have a look around. We're gonna have a think. I'm sure you probably understand the value of being careful.
Yeah, of course. I think so. Is it okay if I stay with you though? I can bring you back to our hotel and we can get I can rent one of the conference rooms. And any of my workers will tell you the same thing.
So what is she suggesting?
She wants to stay with you all. She doesn't want to depart from your all's company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She would take some of us back to meet her folks, I hope. And while a couple of us break off, Captain and 1 or 2 others.
Okay, so Bellamy's going to break off, and who else?
Bellamy and Marcello, and then Books, Chapman, and Shipley will go and meet these aid workers or whoever they are.
Okay. All right. So,
Captain, where are we going?
Well, a couple of things. One, I think mainly I need to find some cargo to fill up that. We need to find a cargo. Okay.
Yeah.
because especially now, if we're going to take this detour, we already know there's no lots going to TimbR. So that's not going to help, and we're going to have to fill that cargo space somehow. So I got to see what's for sale around these parts. And meanwhile, in that conversation, you and I can try and suss out if anyone knows anything about Raleigh.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. And I'd be interested for Marcello. Does Marcello have any ideas of where you could try to go and buy just product, like a lot of product?
Where is your leader? Why so many?
Product of any kind.
Yeah, like basically you're trying to just get your hands on a large bulk of stuff that somebody. The way this works is the best thing to do is try to identify needs in a place and needs some other place, and be like, we can fill that need with a cargo bay.
Yeah. We're heading from Asteltine to Raleigh.
Well, we're going to DeBar first. But
Bar,
yes,
okay,
ultimately,
so-
now a speculative cargo could go to Raleigh, and we already know there's no lots going to DeBar, so we may want to just try to have Raleigh be our hoped for market. And
Do we know, just as a matter of living in this universe, anything about Raleigh?
If you go to the starport, you can obtain its UPP. It's basic data. Otherwise, you would not. You have to have like word of mouth or real experience with things. You go to, you talk around and get word of mouth about it.
yeah. All right.
Okay,
Well,
it's just unknown.
let's you and me then go to the starport tourist trap, or traveler trap bar, and find out the answer to both these questions.
Buy you a beer.
Not if I buy you one first.
Oh no!
Or maybe.
Let me, Captain.
All right. Don't have to ask me twice. Or I guess you do.
All right. Okay. So, sorry about that. I was checking these planets. So, where do you go? Where are you thinking about going? You're in the
Well, like I
starport
said,
at Esseltine.
There's got to be like a traveler trap bar that's right outside the, it's first place that you'd see coming off, coming out of customs or whatever.
Sure. Is your goal to try to find out information about Raleigh?
And also, who's selling bulk goods?
All right.
I guess we can go back and talk to our Fancy Dan, Coyote Ugly, or what's that Tom Cruise movie? Michael Caine and Tom Cruise. Remember that? From the 80s, where they're Cocktail. The name of the movie is Cocktail. Yeah.
Nice. You're thinking about going back to
I didn't see that one.
The Empty Kriller Tavern at the Ankar Kuki.
I mean, we know that guy at least.
Okay.
I mean, and I mean, were there travelers in there before? I mean, we kind of.
Yeah, I believe so. That doesn't guarantee that there would be now. But,
Yeah.
certainly.
Okay. Well, what do you think, Marcello?
Either or.
Okay.
I mean, what's closer?
Well, from where you are now, some other local dive would be closer, but I suppose you do need to.
Local dive doesn't help us, I think, right now.
Okay, let's go back to the other place.
All right, this will take 2 hours. Some time passes. I'll get to the others here in a minute, and let's see who is here at the Empty Kriller. Well, I remember you said we want to go to a tavern because we went to a dive. So this was a little tavern, but it's got a fancy bartender with it. It's a nasty result. There's nasty things in this module. Nasty. Goodness. Calm down. Let's see here. Okay.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
I do.
Like,
Cutlass is my best skill.
no, it's a skill that is beyond the scope of this game. It's rated R stuff. Let's see here. I'm looking for. Give me just a second.
Oh, did we encounter a haughty courtesan?
Prostitute, in fact, with designs.
That's a quote from there's a table in the 1E DMG that's got like 10 different variations of prostitute. Haughty courtesan was always my favorite.
Of course, our characters are completely bewildered by this because sex doesn't exist in this universe. So we're like all unsure. Like, what do they do?
They're about a third of the table are sex workers, and it's not even just prostitute. Like there's like different types of things.
Gross.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, not travelers though.
No. So here we go. I found what I'm looking for. I had to skim past all that. Let's see. Well. Okay. So, you go back to the Empty Kriller Tavern. And indeed, you do see some travelers in here. It's obvious that they're travelers because they. I think that's it. I think travelers sometimes will just keep part of their vac suit on. They don't even bother to take it off. That tells you that they're about to head right back out. That's the hallmark of a traveler. And it's obviously a crew, and they are. They're chatting and working together at the bar and having drinks. And you can see cyberware on their face. These are 5th Frontier War vets. And they see you and they see your face. They see your mannerisms and they cheer you as you come in. And you see your friend, the bartender there, and Karkugi there at the bar doing his stunts.
Travelers with prostitutes.
No, there's no prostitutes in this game. I'm sorry. That was a meta comment about what's
Okay.
in this module. That's a thing that helps you generate what's in a bar and Traveler. No. So I had to I had to sift through multiple different types of sex workers to get to what is also a pretty dirty thing in its own right. I'll tell you, it's called a crimp. Is what came up. But anyways, go ahead.
I look at the captain, and I look at these guys, and I come up to them with a big smile, greet them, and I call them brothers and sisters, and a big greeting because I can recognize a veteran from the 5th Frontier Wars anywhere. How do they react?
They look at you when you say that, and they're quiet for a second. And they're like, "You don't still work for the Imperium anymore, do you?"
Just trying to make a buck. Trying to keep this ship afloat.
One of them, you can smell the alcohol in their breath. The guy's drunk, and he leans over and he's like, "They did us wrong. You know that, don't you?"
Doggone right.
Sure did, brother.
Right. He slams his drink down. He's like, "Come on, join us."
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they spend the next,
Slide in.
They're in the middle of a conversation about all the ways that the Imperial military mistreated them, and all the things that happened to them and the people they knew. Some of the descriptions are horrific.
But probably things that accord with what we've seen ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, some things, yeah. And at one point, the drunk one, he leans over to Marcello and he's like, He's getting us back together.
What do you mean?
Robinson. You heard of him?
Can't say that I have. Should I have heard of him?
He's in a unit called the Reavers. Back in the war, they were a special operations unit. But he's opposing the Archduke now. We're going to set matters right in this place. We're going to get the Imperium out of here. And he's slurring slightly. He's trying to get louder. What is outright treason? And you have heard of Robinson. He was. It was the unit that got you all out when you had the Psi attack.
Oh, you mean they saved our lives?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not treason if you're not in the Imperium. And we're not in the Imperium right now.
Sure aren't. Soon enough, a whole bunch of those stars out there won't either.
Hey, sounds like it's above my pay grade, buddy.
I guess
As
so,
he's
Trevor.
as he's saying this, as he's saying this, I look around at companions. What are their reactions to this?
They could tell he's kind of drunk, but they don't actually intervene. They kind of like solemnly, some of them stare at their drinks, some of them just like watch you all, you know. It is clear to you that they feel similarly.
Right.
So, you say he's getting us back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vets like you and me. You know, we should reach out to him. We should.
Where'd you come across that news, though?
Other travelers, vets like us, places like this, your indie places like this. A few of the other stations too. Bowman, places where you can still, you know, operate freely without their squeezing everything out of you and taking all your money and everything you.
I look out at this Bowman arm, buddy. It's hard to squeeze anything from a stone like this.
Yeah, well, how do you think it got that way, Captain? You think it was that way before the Fourth War? This place used to be a garden.
Yeah. Well, all I want to do is get out of it.
Look, well, that's your business, I guess.
I mean, you sticking around these parts? You stuck doing business here?
I'm gonna finish my oath and do what I agreed to do, and we're gonna take care of these people out here, out on the Imperial fringe.
Oh, I mean, it's a worthy cause. It's good people. I keep running into good people out here, but you know, good people by themselves, tough to pay bills.
Oh no.
Are there still good people out on Raleigh? Have you heard?
Raleigh? He looks. He's like, I tell you what. Why don't you? So you got cargo? You going to Raleigh?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're thinking about going to Raleigh, and you got any doubt about trying to get out of this place and not be under the thumb of the Imperium and think you might get a buck and get by, Captain, with that medal on your head, I dare you to get a load of cargo and go out to Raleigh and go see exactly what the Imperium does out here. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
Well, is there anything you think we need to know before we go there? Because we might be going there.
One of the non-drunk ones, he says, oh, actually, let's see here. He says, yeah, look, Raleigh is, it's let's see here. Make sure I got this. Oh, man. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's good. It's good. For you all, but not for these people. Okay, just had to make sure of a couple things. Okay. Raleigh is Raleigh's a world that this is a different guy sitting next to him. He says Raleigh's a world that used to be an economic powerhouse in the five the five sisters. When you head out Spinward, as it were, it has everything it needs. It's got an old colony, hundreds of thousands of people, but it's a colony under what's called the Iterati control zone. The Iterati is the seat of the local lord. What is the next one?
Duke.
Baron. No, below because Duke is like the highest, right? That's like
No, that's the Archduke is the sector guy, and the Duke is in charge of a subsector, and then you've got knights and barons in charge of like smaller groups of constellations or single systems.
Okay, this would be the Duke. I think this is the Duke's. Let me make sure here. Yeah, the subsector Duke. It exists under the subsector Duke's control as a kind of a colony instead of just an imperial world with all the benefits of an imperial world. But all of the urban areas are in ruins. The atmosphere is poisonous, and crime lords and corrupt police chiefs trade what resources remain. It's an absolute nightmare on Raleigh. And there are hundreds of thousands of people that live in that place.
So they probably need things like
Wow.
medical supplies. Probably not allowed to carry small arms into there, I'm guessing. I don't know.
No, I'd say it's expected to carry that around, Captain. And
Oh, I just meant as a cargo. But yeah, I'm just trying to think about the kind of things a place like that would need. Because if we got to go there, we got 82 tons to fill. You know what I mean?
You see a look in his eyes. He thinks something's about to escape his mouth, and then he looks at you, closes his mouth, and he's like, "I'd say that place needs just about everything."
I look over at Marcello, and kind of with a glance that means you take a crack at him.
Well, I'm gonna pan
When was the
camera,
last time
actually.
you said?
Yeah, let's pan the camera.
Hold that
Yeah,
thought.
do that.
So let's see here. Meanwhile, Books, Chapman, and Shipley, you go to the hotel, and there are these aid workers, and they put some food out, and they set up a conference room for you, and they all have the similar long coat / dress arrangement, and some of them have the Imperial, the sun symbol on their jackets and things. And they look like... They do not look like belters. They look squatter, darker skinned, and sometimes with very diverse features. So you can tell if they're from different worlds. But these are terrestrial people. These are not spacers.
Okay, I just want to introduce us and sit down with them and tell them that Isabella had mentioned that we're a ship, a traveler crew, and Isabella was in the process of trying to negotiate passage back toward Raleigh for the group, and we had just come to get to know them as prospective clients. And I stick with Bellamy's line of, we're all going to be in a ship for a long time together, so it's best if we get to know each other before we decide on anything.
A heavy-set, dark-skinned man, he says, everything that Isabella says is correct. We're in desperate straits. We simply cannot just remain here on Asteltine, and believe it or not, as extensive of a station this is, as many people that are here, you would imagine that it would be some scrap of humanity out here on the edge of space, but no one is willing to help us. We're from let's see here. They are from. Oh, my map. I'm looking at the wrong map. They are from the Imperium, from Glisten. Let me make sure that's right. That's not right. They would be even further in. They would be from like probably the Starline subsector. Trailing of Moria or Mora.
Wow.
These are people that, yeah, they're part of some, large organization that's like an intergalactic organization that does things like this, some kind of NGO, and they were, anyways. So he says, my name is Velez, and we come from the Imperium, and frankly, we weren't expecting so much trouble just finding passage. We thought our money would be good enough for free traders that would like to see their neighbors helped. I'm just astonished of not just how it is out here, but that no one seems interested in trying to help one another or change anything.
Now, it sounds like you guys have been through a lot. Isabella mentioned you've been here for weeks already. Sounds like you've tried all these sorts of options. Now, Isabella got to meet our captain briefly. She saw for herself. He's a very focused, enterprising guy. We're no strangers to taking on passengers, but he scoured, passenger postings, and we didn't see any mention of you guys and your mission there. Had you tried those kinds of traditional routes before?
They wouldn't
Nowhere with them?
They wouldn't take us on, and even if we were posted, we sat there and waited and paid the fees, and paid our customs fees to wait and keep our listing. So we were beginning to think that we would only have to sit and wait here until we hoped that either an Imperial vessel came by, or until someone loyal to the Imperium like yourselves might come by. That's what we're hoping for. But no, we tried.
As an aside to my two companions, I might say, it's not the most out there story. It sounds like there is actually enough anti-Imperial sentiment here in Asteltine that it's entirely plausible they got shafted like that.
Yeah.
That tracks, I guess. Possible.
But it's not going to be a reassuring enough story for the captain, I bet. I guess I'll also ask, how'd you guys end up here on Asteltine on your way to Raleigh?
Isabella says this. She says, we hadn't hoped to come by Asteltine. In fact, we were in a vessel that we had hoped to make it across to Flammarion and then into Edrate, but Unfortunately, that vessel got called to detach duty elsewhere and was diverted, and we found ourselves waiting, and she looks down, she's kind of ashamed, she says, and that's where I made my terrible mistake. I became impatient myself, and I decided that we ought to try to learn how things are here in the Bowman Arm. And so we decided to take free trader vessels and separate off from the staff that was taking the ships into Iterati. So we made our way into Bowman, and from Bowman we tried to find a ship in a place called Koenig's Rock. From Koenig's Rock, we did find a Jump 2 ship. We traveled to Faldor and then up to Flammarion, or I'm sorry, and then to here to Asteltine. I was looking at the map. And since we came here, we had a terrible time in Bowman as well, in Koenig's Rock. Although people were willing to help us, it was just, we just weren't sure what to do. I hadn't seen anything like that before. Koenig's Rock is just chaos. But it's nothing like this place. This place is tightly ran. Someone is orchestrating things here, but there's tons of ships coming and going with loads of ore, but no one will talk to us.
It's interesting they say that someone, must be in charge here. And I wonder if they have a specific reason, like evidence of that being the case, when we seem to have this impression of it as being kind of a very graceful anarchy.
Do you say that in character? Oh, go ahead.
I guess not. I guess I'm kind of thinking
that
out loud.
comment. That comment might have just been in relation to Bowman, right? I don't know, but it could have just been like this place seems like business, or maybe made her think that someone in charge compared to other places they were.
For sure. So they said they broke off from the rest of their mission to do this, to get the rest of the way there. They're expecting when they get to Raleigh, they're going to rendezvous with other elements of their mission. And Isabel had mentioned that they're going to set the groundwork for more aid to arrive, right? Kind of paint a picture for me, like how does this process work and where do we fit into it?
You say that to them and to Isabella?
Yeah.
She says, yes, and in fact, actually, we were supposed to be part of a vanguard effort. We were going to land in a, let me see, near the starport, in the low port on the planet, and the old capital city. We were going to begin our base of operations there, and then start to work out into Huffington and Golan and Free League and the different provinces and countries that have split apart and are sort of petty criminal states that war with each other. Our goal is to also try to just understand what's happening on the ground and the needs of the people there so that we could coordinate relief efforts. So believe it or not, this is actually the beginning of our organization's relief efforts.
Brooks and Shipley, what are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking
I'm going to call them the Imperial Red Sun. Because Red Star's already taken.
I'm thinking they're a legitimate organization. I think taking them to Flammarion would be fine. I mean, obviously, have to It has to go through the captain. He has to negotiate the passage and everything. But I think if they're willing to double up due to our restrictions, then yeah, they can. It should be a good ride.
Yeah, my gut says I would like to take this job on. If it came down to a vote, I would. I know the captain is just most nervous about the fact that we would receive pay up on arrival, and it's not like they're in a position to pay us a portion of it up front or anything that's even slightly better of a deal.
And this is, I know I'm not there, but I want to make sure that everyone's clear that it's 256,000 credits that we're talking about upon arrival at Raleigh. If it's double, if that's her offer, right? Because it's 8,000 per person per jump.
No. It was
It's 8,000, right? It's 8,000.
I'm
There's 10
sorry,
of them.
jump.
I missed that. She means one-way passage. So no, I did not mean to.
So really, that's just a standard rate.
Yeah, okay. So she's
That's
talking
just-
about standard rate.
She just wants she wants to pay a standard rate for us to. But it would be a dedicated standard rate for 10 passengers, which is 128,000. She may not, if she had known what she was asking, she may not have offered double, and she may not have used those words. You know what I mean? So
Well,
maybe we can negotiate price in character at a later time, but I would want more than just the standard rate, I think, but maybe not. We'll see.
something I'll say to my companions that are here with us is that if what everyone's talking about with Raleigh is true, it must be the easiest system in the entire galaxy to buy speculative goods for, because it sounds like they need literally anything. We could buy whatever, diapers, and there's going to be a market for it there.
That's a good idea. I think we should go through with this. I think negotiating price would be definitely a good idea, to see if we could get more out of them. But I do think we should go through with this.
All right. Then we're going to say to the Imperial Red Sun folks, we're going to reconvene with our captain. We'll exchange contact information as we can and arrange for us to meet up again later to finalize an actual deal if our captain is interested in it.
We'll all be at the hotel anyway. It's the same hotel, right?
Okay, they all stand when you say this, and something may be kind of uncomfortable for you. Isabella actually bows slightly.
Perseus nervously doesn't know what to do, and he just instinctively bows in response with less grace.
Knock something over the table, pencils onto the floor.
This is the longest stretch of time that Perseus has had to maintain anything resembling a formal tone in his life.
Books does a perfect bow back.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so and now I'll pan the camera back over to the empty Krillor Tavern, where you see that one of your people that you were talking to has moved over to the bartender and is having a tight conversation with him. He's actually stopped serving drinks to focus on this. Meanwhile, I think Marcello, you were about to say something either to the guy that is not drunk or the guy that is drunk.
Talking to the guy who is not drunk. I obviously they know something about this Raleigh. I'm asking him, when was the last time you were on planet? Basically trying to get a sense whether his information is recent.
Months ago. It's still that way. There's no way it's changed. They exist under Iterade's thumb and the Duke's thumb. So it wouldn't have been any better.
Sounds like a terrible situation for them, but what about for us travelers? Need to come and go? Trade? Or are we also going to be under the thumb of the Duke?
Oh yeah. If you go into the Eldorado control zone, or you go there into the Five Sisters, that Duke, he thinks he's like his own little emperor. It's his own little domain out there. I mean, after all, ships don't come and go from the Imperium there very much unless it's the Imperial Navy. They bypass the Bowman Arm on their way through. They're only interested in the border. So, this Duke, he's allowed to do things as he sees fit. And yes.
Sounds like if we enter the system, we're going to be under a little bit of risk. Question is, how much risk, and will the reward be worth it? Are we going to be able to make some bucks?
Oh yeah, there's opportunity to make money there. And he looks at you. You can make a roll under your social. See if you can get in his good graces. See what he's willing to give. Oh no. Oh, terrible rolls tonight. He looks at you. He remembers you all talking about just like you just want to get out of here. You don't want anything to do with it. You can tell he's clenching something behind his teeth. He sees in you somebody that's more interested in profit than in his big ideals. And you can see that, looking back and forth from each other, and he's like, oh, I'm sure you'll find a way to make money. Now, I'll tell you, there are 4 countries there. There's the Iterati control zone. It's this hive of a urban place. And it's the capital of the world, the old capital city, back when the world was united. The Iterati army controls everything. They monitor, they work hand in hand with the Imperial authorities at the starport. And the place is a pile of wretched poor. And a stopover to head into the Five Sisters. So that for the Imperial Navy and others. And then there's Huffington. They are fighting a war against the Iterati to try to free the planet. There's Golan, and then there's a place off in the wastes. They call it the Free League. So, truth is, these places fight among each other just about as much, and even fight among themselves as they do with the Iterati or anybody else. Ultimately, the Baron's lackey is unquestioned. So you can pick your poison. You can fly in, help the Navy boys, help out the good old glorious Imperium. Out of character, what's the Imperial motto? It's something like, Chris, it's something like...
Oh, you got me there.
It's something terrible, too. It's something like control, order, and something. It doesn't sound that good. It doesn't exactly kind of like, it's not exactly pluribus unum or anything. But, anyways, yeah, he says that, and then he's like, or you can land off the starport, come in low, and help people out. But you'll find a buyer for just about anything, depending on who you want to deal with.
I look over at the captain, and I look back at this guy, and I'm like, no. I think we prefer to avoid any Imperial entanglements.
Yeah, it's true.
Awesome.
So smooth.
And I'm trying to appeal
This is great.
because, like, isn't the feeling that isn't the feeling from this these vets that they're like the Imperium?
Say that again. Sorry, it broke
Um,
up for me.
Yeah, sorry. Isn't the feeling that these vets are very anti-Imperium? I mean, that's
Yeah, or I don't know what to call
what
it,
the
but
drunk guy was saying.
they're partisan, right? So they don't see the imperial authority as like, they probably have their idea of the Imperium or something like that. But yeah, the imperial authority they hate.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounds like everybody on this planet also is prejudiced against Imperials, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
That's why that the social workers were having so much trouble. So now I'm talking to this guy. I'm saying, yeah, we'd rather avoid any Imperial entanglements on this planet and try to do a little bit of trade. Which faction would be most amenable?
If you want to avoid the Imperium, place with the most people is Huffington.
But they don't have their own starport, right?
Yeah, you'll have to land off site in a improvised LZ or one of their airports, and it's they're plagued with infighting. So even within Huffington, you'll have to pick which chief you want to deal with.
Well, is the starport gonna have small craft around trying to shoot us down if we don't go through them? Or are they just gonna not care if we go off and land somewhere else?
I think you'll have to try to find your way in when you deorbit. What I think the best thing to do is approach into a wild space, hit the dirt, approach low, and then come to Huffington and don't announce yourself to the control zone. And of course, if you run into any Imperial entanglements, cruiser shows up, you just do what they say before that happens.
True enough. Well, I thank you very much, friend. And one last thing. Hey, what's the best place to buy a lot of stuff around here?
It's ore. It's not needed as much there, unfortunately. It's needed everywhere else in the Bowman Arm. But this place ships ore. It's all over the place. You can go to any of the storage houses and work with one of the warehouse managers or any of the companies there, and they ship ore. And they ship parts for ore.
And we could probably sell that on TimbR, you think? It's a developing place. They probably need a lot of building materials.
TimbR. They're not going to buy any ore there. That's hilarious. And then what's worse? What's worse is he leaves you at that, and he takes his drink and slaps you on the shoulder and walks off.
That might be the best place to end it for tonight.
Well, let's end it here. I'm curious. Why don't you make you want to go buy some stuff?
I do. I mean, I would like to get some numerical payoff, or at least see what's available or something.
All right. So I'm gonna let's look. All right. This is interesting. This actually is really good. You find an excess. What is it called when there's too much product. And it's clothes. Surplus of clothes, which is actually pretty good news, I think.
Yeah.
And let me see. Give me a second here need all my modifiers. You're at Asteltine, and you're trying to sell to TimbR.
Yeah.
Okay, and interestingly, you don't know what's in TimbR. I will tell you that there's essentially no population there, but they have there are tens of people there of official population. But there is a Class B starport that is well staffed, and they sell. But anyways, I'll get back to that in a second. I just have to check. Astaltine is a. Well, I need this down here. Trade info. Yeah, non-industrial world. So this is interesting because it's non-industrial. It's cheaper and there's a surplus. So, yeah, roll 2d6 and you can. You want to roll low, and you can subtract your admin. So your total would be -4.
I'm thinking.
Actually, it's looking like it's going to be even better than that. It's going to be -6. -6.
Okay. 9 minus 6 is 5.
5. You are able to purchase this at 80%.
No, 9 minus 6 is 3. What am I thinking?
3. You're able to purchase this at 50%, so 1,500 per ton.
I just know Shipley is over there just like...
There are...
What did he just say?
13.
It's space math.
I forgot to carry the 1, I think.
There are 65 tons.
65 tons. At what rate? At
1,500 per ton.
But at what percentage was that again? Sorry.
50% of 3,000
Wow.
is the base price.
Wow. So even if we don't sell it all, sorry, at 1,500 per ton, we have 100. We can buy it all, and we should buy it all because you can sell clothes anywhere. We can sell as much as we can on TimbR or try to, and then if we don't, we sell the rest on Raleigh. They sure need it. They sure need it there.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not sold on all these tales, all these malcontents. You know, I'm not all about trying to approach, you know, without the official starport
You're
noticing
saying
us.
this to Marcello's. You guys are going back
Yes.
to the ship.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know how you feel about it. I mean,
Yeah, I figured flying, that wasn't your style, Cap.
well, it
You
might
said
have to be
that,
one day, but until it has to be, I'm not eager to just start doing it. You know, we lived that life over on Walston. Remember, that was exciting enough.
Yeah.
But
So,
anyway, okay, yeah. So
it
great.
seems that some opportunities have presented themselves that weren't planned for. So we'll see.
Sweet.
See how it goes, and that ends the adventure for tonight.